So this one, going to finish off all of the hard parts for the Homestead Tusken. We still have the hood to do. It's going to be later. Right now I want to focus. Right now I want to focus just on the mask. So we get to demold now. It's exciting. This is probably my favorite. Before we get into this, prying devices. So this is probably my favorite part of any project, is the opening up a mold, because you never know whether it worked or it didn't work. I mean, I got a pretty good educated guess, but I could be wrong. Oh. That was unexpected. See, never know what's going to happen. Thrill ride, non-stop. See, at this point we're just trying to find a weak point to open it up. Because once it starts, the whole thing's just going to pop apart. Ominous foreshadowing. I should probably also get a hammer. We're going to start on this one, see what we get. There we go. Well, that's a good sign. It's cured all the way down. It's been just over a day, by the way. I cured these, or I poured them last night. Yesterday afternoon, actually, and it was probably ready to demold before I went to bed, but I let it go and I had a full day of work, so they've had plenty of time to do whatever it is they want to do. Alright, I'll pop this here too then. Fine. I certainly hope I remember to normalize the volume, because this is going to be real loud if I didn't. I have a feeling I may have to remake this one. Just because Kim said they should probably be a bit wider. I didn't listen to her. I'm looking at these and I'm like, maybe. I don't know. We have to see how it casts. In the end, that's really what matters, is how well it casts. Foil tape, because I had a leak, right? It's liquid. I used hot glue on this side, but this side just didn't. It was bad. So foil tape sticks to just about everything. Made a very quick patch. Worked perfect. I was very happy with it. Highly recommend. Hey, look at that. That's not too shabby. A little sticky. I'm probably going to leave it as is for another day, just with the top side exposed. There we go. So I'm not actually going to demold fully this time. Just mostly. So we mostly demolded. So I still have 2 more pieces to mold. I've got the long piece that goes at the very bottom, this one. And then I have the extra piece I'm gonna to model and print that spaces everything off so it just, you know, I think it needs it. All right, now we're gonna give it a day or so with the top exposed like this, just to let it, you know, completely cure. I'm not in a hurry, I'm not in a rush, I got plenty of time. Don't let the desire to be on the next step push you away from the current step. Something nice about being in the now, you know? Master Yoda said to Skywalker, both of them. All right, we're gonna let these cure, and we'll be back in a bit. Oy. I'm excited about this, because anything could happen at this point. These could come out perfect, and I could just dump in some resin, which would be neat. I may have mixed the resin wrong, and I may have to redo everything. This may just not work out at all. Who knows? I like the fact that anything could happen, which does make things a little more exciting. I hope everything works right, but I don't know if I've ever had a project where everything just worked right. I don't know how I'd feel if I had a project where everything just worked. You know? That'd be kind of weird. For the most part, this one has turned out pretty okay. I don't have any major hiccups yet. Could change any second now, right? The unknown. Interesting times and all that jazz. Alright. First one came out pretty okay. These are going to be brutal to get out once they're molded. I still have one mold to make. That's not that big a deal. I haven't even modeled the part yet. So far, so good. Not bad. I'll trim everything up again and stop talking while I do it, so I can edit most of it out. Alright, now let's pull these out. I should probably just grab a pair of pliers, that way I can just pull. I'm too worried about things being precious. I don't want to mess up my blanks. These two, I'm pretty happy with so far. For this one, I want to stretch and cut along here. Doing a slightly jagged cut because I want it to fit back together, but I don't want to overdo it. And I am stretching the rubber. Placid rubber does not cut well. Luckily, I don't have a lot of room, so I can actually see the mold underneath pretty easily. See the part underneath pretty easy. I can see the part through the mold. I believe is what I was trying to say. I need a third hand, like a Modi. So the goal is to get it to close back up nice and tight with everything out. I think it's going to do it. Alright, so this one, first one completely broke off. Expecting that with a couple of them. The extra glue I added in there is going to make casting these so much easier. Because it's going to beef up the only real weak spot this mold has. So that one broke too. Interesting. Did that break there? Wow. Not only did my battery die, but I rambled for a couple minutes and didn't hit record. It's going to be one of those days. So, everything seemed to come out fine. These all broke, right? Except for this one, which was nice and beefy, which is why I added the hot glue in the first place. I may need to beef these up if I'm going to release the 3D files. We're not there yet. Everything seemed to come out fine though. Next up, I'm going to make a new mold for the long piece, and then that weird piece I've been talking about, and I'll probably take a day or two. So there's no reason for you to come along for that. So I will pick this up in a few days, for me a couple seconds for you. So I still have the support pieces and the long piece to model. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna do these now because these, since the bone plates snap, I want to fill it up first to give it a good. This stuff goes. It's ready in 20 minutes. I'm gonna give it a bit longer than 20 minutes. I'm probably gonna give it an hour. So might as well get started now, right? I'm gonna grab some gloves. I'll be right back. All right. I use Smoothcast 300 for just about everything. It is almost bulletproof. The MSDS on this stuff is, it's fantastic. It's easy to use. It's non-toxic. I don't have to wear a mask. I don't have to worry about, esters evaporating. I just have to worry about opening the thing. So in my 9 to 5, I do a lot of spraying, and the constant squeezing of the trigger has just destroyed my elbow. Need a little bit to, There we go. Got my cups marked and marked. I'm trying to go in smaller batches because I have no idea. I have to pour real slow, and I have no idea how much these are going to take. Sounds like somebody's in trouble. I'm out of knives, so I'm using a spoon. I'm stirring, so I guess that's not a big deal. Alright. I hate long hair. I'm only doing it for Harlock. And, it is annoying. This stuff hardens super quick. Not like, seconds fast, but fast enough that I do have to pour a little quickly. I set the molds up so I can pour on one side and see when we get to the other. I am a little bit worried about these bone plates. I may have to recast them. And if I have to, it's not like the end of the world, but it's just slightly annoying. So it's like almost halfway with that. That's not bad. I got a couple of extra molds set aside if I happen to make too much. Like ingots. Stupidest thing I've done all day. I should just leave it. I'm not gonna, but I should. That's a bit better. So now, we give it an hour, let it do its thing, and we'll see where we're at. Let's see what we got. I'm a little worried. If I redo these, I'm going to put a hole in the center too. just so air can get in there and flow properly. Maybe. Looks like there's a big bubble in the center though. That was expected. I think it may be a little too flexible still. Let's find out. Nice and easy. It's not perfect, but it came out in one piece, so that's neat. They do look much more durable. So these bubbles can easily be filled. Just put in a couple of drops of resin, and that's literally all it takes. So next time I pour another set, I can just set these up, or I can recast the mold. Seems like kind of a waste, but it is what it is, right? I don't want to be blasé about the price of resins or the rubbers or any of this. This stuff's expensive, especially at the quantities I'm buying them. But I'd rather have a good mold and a product that worked, or a result that comes out perfect, than one I have to fight with and constantly fix. Not bad. Not perfect, but not bad. They all came out without breaking, so that's a step in the right direction. That one, I'm less hopeful for. Yeah, this one didn't fill all the way is the problem. Let's see. Yeah. It came out pretty alright. Didn't fill up to the top. Gave me a weird flashing from it spacing out too much. This mold may have to be redone. If it is, it's going to be done off camera anyway. I could have put a piece of tape across it, and that would have also solved the problem. But I'm not sure how I feel about these yet. The bone plates may have to be redone. Let's see about the... There's two things in particular I'm worried about. A, it looks good, and B, that I can read the numbers. That's actually not bad. First one. Looks pretty okay. These ones I'm much less worried about. I should have prepped them to be molds. You know, put a little sprue on the bottom so I have somewhere to pour to and all that jazz. But again, I didn't. Hindsight, right? It's a wondrous thing. So this mold, which is the bulk of the rubber that I used, anyway, seems to be doing okay. And if these are a little off, it's not the end of the world. I do only expect to cast a handful of these anyway. Keep looking at my finger because I stabbed myself. This resin is razor sharp. So far we are 4 for 4. It's got me thinking Arby's. Not bad, not bad. That one's a little... But these are organic enough that if one's a little smaller than the other, it's not going to actually even be noticeable. Welcome to Huck Orley's channel, where we watch an idiot struggle with molds. And the numbers are readable. That kind of makes me happy. I normally make the bottoms a little thinner so I can push them from the underside. I don't know why I didn't this time. Probably because, well, I don't know. I suppose in the end I just didn't. So everyone that came out of this mold is passable. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it is passable. Molds tend to take a little while to learn. Not how to do it, but each mold is individual. So learning how this mold wants to be cast is going to be an interesting experience. I should have filled these up a little more too. I believe there's a couple air pockets I pulled out. This would be absolutely considered a B cast, but it's probably going to end up being a a faceplate for a doll, because those tend to use considerably less pieces. For a first pour, I'm going to call this a rousing success. So there's a couple things I'm going to do real quick before I consider this done. In these, I'm going to cut a couple of notches so there's an air vent in the center of each of these bone pieces, which should stop these bubbles from happening. I'm going to pour them first so I have ample time to fill as needed. So we're going to do another set. See how they turn out. You don't need to see that one. So we'll see you when we're done. Hopefully. These turned out okay, right? They're much stronger than the other resin ones. They're a bit thinner than I wanted. A little too much give to them. Got a couple bubbles here and there, not a big deal. But this one, it just keeps snapping. So I said to heck with it. And it took every drop of Rebound 25 I have in my entire garage. But I made new molds. So this is the long piece on the bottom. And then here are the tall one and then the four short ones. Still a little goo to them, right? It's not 100% cured. It's 99% cured. It's still got a little bit of tack here and there. Had I mixed a little better, probably wouldn't have happened. But everywhere that's like thin, you know, still, yeah. The curing process is going to happen no matter what, right? I've mixed it. I mixed enough that no matter what, it's going to cure. It may take it a couple days. I'm going to give it a day. When I did my Tusken molds, the Raider molds, the blood spitters, the very tips were still gooey. I leave them for a couple. I left them for about a month. They're perfect now. I mean, this stuff will cure. It's relatively bulletproof. It's going to take a little bit. While I was waiting, I did all of the bib plate pieces. I made 3 of them. One of them's going to me, one of them's going to Todd, and then one of them's going to Destiny. So we're going to give these a day, maybe 2. Then I'm going to cut them out and cast them and see where we're at. So we will see where we're at in a few seconds. After I clean everything up. So in the end, I had to redo the molds. Not surprised. The only ones I really had to redo were the bone plates. And of course I had to make the new one for this piece. And my 2 spacers. Which are gonna, they go together. It fits perfect. It looks fantastic. I've done a mock-up and I'm happy with it. But since I was redoing the molds, I made them a bit thicker, and I added sprues, right? Just 2 things. There's one in the mold. Gives me a much better spot to aim. And I can just pour here and it'll fill up, and I'll know when I'm full because I can see that rising and that rising. Fantastic way, and I'm super happy with those. Those turned out great. All I have to do is trim off the pieces, sand them, and perfect. The only one that was still a little thin, so it's got some flashing on it, is the middle bone plate. It's a little thinner than I would like. It's still thicker than it was, and it's durable. I'm not terribly worried about it, but I wish I could have thickened it a little bit without redesigning everything. But I'm happy with it. It looks pretty good. And this is it, right? All of the pieces have been molded. All of the pieces have been cast. Everything is ready to roll. I'm at a blank at this point. Right? This is where I have to make decisions. Do I release the digital files? Or do I make a bunch of kits and sell them on the Crate Clan? Because I got 3 of them set up. right? This one's going to Todd. This one's going to Destiny. And this one's going to be the mock-up that we're doing next week. And I'm going to go through the entire process of how it needs to go together. If I do kits, they'll be on the Crate Clan. It's crateclan.com. I'll probably put the link in the doobly. The molds turned out great. I'm very happy with them. I tend to populate my molds when I put them up for storage. And there are way more pieces here than in the Raider. That's for sure. The Raider, well, it's the same number of pieces, I think, but way more rubber here because there's way more pieces in just that kit. It looks good. I'm super happy with it. I think it's accurate, which is the important part for me. So next time, we're going to put this whole kit together, start to finish, as if I'm offering the kit and this is the walkthrough of it. Because that's probably what I'm going to do. I think I like that idea. I'd like these to get out there and people to get to them. But, you know, we need to know what we're doing to know what we're doing, right? So if you're interested in that, Crate Clan, we'll see. If I decide to go that route. If I don't, and you're into this stuff anyway, you should be a member of the Crate Clan no matter what, because it's a fantastic resource on denizens of Tatooine. But I'm happy with them. They turned out great. Now I'm just rambling. So here's the thing. Like and subscribe. I'll see you next week when we put this together. Thanks for sticking around.